Okay, so my name's Yasmine. I'm 21 years old. I'm Palestinian Iraqi and I've lived in Jordan my whole life. And I'm an artist. I make work about things that I care about. So I moved here in 2017 for university and then I graduated during the pandemic. So since then I've done some exhibitions, I've done some freelance work. I have an exhibition at Renata.
And how have you found that, having your work exposed?
It's pretty cool. It's nice having people coming up to you and ask your point of view, because I think that's what I'm really after. I want people to just come up and have questions. It's a nice feeling to know that my work's up there and someone having a coffee who isn't me and doesn't know me is seeing the same thing.
So how has isolation changed things for you?
I think it just made me want to look into myself a lot more. So I did more journaling, I did more sketching, I tried to read more about my ancestry and my history. I tried to do some digging into my faith because I was born into it, but I don't really know if I ever had the chance that I did to just sit down and figure out and ask the questions that I wanted to ask myself, and I still don't have all the answers. And it makes me feel like I know what I want to do. I wake up every day and I feel very sure that this is what I want to do and I'm happy doing it, even if it's like a struggle and even if it's hard to get across to people and market yourself, but it makes me more sure of the decision I made every day, so I'm really happy.
You mentioned you like sketching random people in cafes and parks. How do you find that experience usually?
Oh, it's so much fun. But when people know that they're being sketched, they change positions automatically. Some people try to hide, but some people try to make themselves look better as well. They think I'm taking photographs and it's like no one's gonna see these and they might not be that good, so I don't know why you're... But yeah, some people are really picky about how they want to be drawn. A few people come up and ask what they look like. A few people get offended.
How do you find balancing Eastern and Western cultures in your work?
It's hard. Sometimes it's really empowering, sometimes it's really debilitating. Sometimes I feel invincible and I'm a strong Arab woman and I want to make political statements all the time and I want to be seen and I want to be heard, and then sometimes I feel like a complete outsider and I don't know if I fit in and I don't know if I should even speak up. Culture is something that is so important to me. Where I'm from was never something glamorous. I'd never see Arab women on TV just being themselves. If Arab women were on TV, they'd be playing English roles and they'd be whitewashed as much as they could be, and they would have blonde highlights and they would not dare to put on makeup that looked too ethnic. I think it's important that now, especially with Black Lives Matter and everything happening, people are trying to embrace their culture a bit more, and I think that's something that I was trying to do maybe since university, but since that happened especially, it's been really, really important to just be a bit more confident and try to have more accountability for who you are and where you come from, instead of trying to fit in.
How do you find integrating your identity when you're asked to do specific works when you're working on commission, for example?
I like using blues and greens, which are the traditional colors of Islam, so I like to integrate that a lot. I like Arabic lettering a lot as well. When I have abstract works, I try to always think about words or phrases that I really want to highlight in those pieces.
What's the painting you would say you're most proud of?
So there's this painting named Her. I did it one day at university. I'm really proud of it because I was having a crisis between being a feminist but also being a Muslim and not knowing that those worlds could intersect. And I was going through this surah, which is the fourth one in the Quran. It's called Surah An-Nisa, which means the passages of women. So there was this entire story just dedicated to women and how you should treat women and how you should rightfully treat them. And that just inspired me completely. I just went crazy. I just threw whatever I could on it. I stuck whatever I could on it, and it became just my favorite work because it represented a really, really good day. It represented a day which started off really grey and fuzzy and kind of came together. That was the beginning for my graduation project, and it was entitled God Loves You Regardless, because I think there's this debate that God created you and he only loves you on the condition that you're heterosexual, that you are obedient, that you are a certain color, a certain ethnicity, have a certain sexuality, but I don't think that's true. So I made a body of work that highlights the passages of God that says that he cares for you regardless.
And if you could kind of describe what your art is about in a sentence or two, what would you say?
It's about me figuring myself out.